Oh my gosh, it's Amazon Prime Day. All right, Homelab fanatics, clear your calendars because it's Prime Day. And for us, that means one thing: upgrading the digital fortress. We're talking drives, networking, mini PCs, and much more. All those glorious components we've been eyeballing, just waiting for that sweet deal. I dove deep to find the best deals on Amazon Prime Day for our home labs. So stick around because we're about to make your home lab dreams very affordable. That being said, let me start off this very clearly and say, watching this video will save you money, but only if you were already intending on spending that money anyway. If you were like on the fence about it and maybe this helps nudge you over, okay, cool, that makes sense. I just want to put that out there. All right, disclaimer out of the way, let's jump into the deals. If you're interested in any of this stuff, go check it out. Links are down in the description, as always. I'll leave chapters also down in that description if you want to jump ahead to any of these or scrub along right down here along the timeline thing. Down there in the thing. Words are hard. Starting off with the crucial P310 4TB PCIe NVMe Gen 4 M.2 SSD with a Cronus, nice, $200 for a 4TB Gen 4 NVMe drive. That's a pretty good deal. These are normally over $300, $334 to be exact. Next up, we've got a Samsung 990 Evo Plus SSD. This is a Gen 4 and Gen 5 PCIe M.2. They've got it in a couple flavors. I think the best deal here, the sweet spot here, is the 2TB for $114, on sale from $177. Next up is a Seagate Barracuda 8TB 5400 spinning disk drive for $110, $109, on sale from $135. This is kind of a unique offer because it's not built for a NAS. This is built for general storage. So this is an SMR drive, shielded magnetic recording drive. These work by essentially stacking overlapping data tracks, kind of like shingles on a roof, and they're good for sequential writes, meaning like an archive file that's accessed once or very infrequently, where you write to it and then you forget about it. But for $110 for an 8TB drive, that's a good deal, depending on how you're going to use it. Next up is a great deal on a Seagate Ironworf 8TB hard drive that is built for NASs, 7200 RPM with 256 megs of cache on board. This is a really good deal at $150. And speaking of NASs, here's a Ugreen NAS Sync DXP4800 Plus. Now the Plus means that it has a 10 gig NIC and a 2.5 gig NIC on board. Plus it has a couple of M.2 slots. We've got 8 gigs of DDR5 on board, Intel Pentium Gold series CPU, 5-core CPU, that's interesting. Up to 136 terabytes in that little 4-disc drive. That's pretty cool. I'd be interested in getting one of these. Hey, Ugreen, hit me up if you want me to review one of these on the channel for us. So anyway, this is on sale for $520, marked down from $700. This is a really good deal for a high-speed NAS. Now's a good time to get in. Next up is another disk enclosure. This is actually a DAS, or a direct attached storage, not a network attached storage like a NAS. This is by Terramaster, but this is a 4-bay, 3.5-inch enclosure. Anyway, the key here is it's directly connected to your PC. It's not connected over the network. There's no NIC in your network interface. It's just a single USB-C port. That being said, it is USB 3.2, Gen 2, 10 gigabits per second transfer speeds. For $150, it's a pretty good deal. Now, moving on to network gear. As you know, I'm a big fan of TP-Link Omada, so all of these are gonna be the Omada series networking appliances that I'm interested in because I'm upgrading my system as we speak, actually. So this one is an unmanaged switch, so it's an 8-port, 10 gig unmanaged switch for $270. This one I think does come with the ears to extend it out if you wanna put this in a rack, or it's got little rubber pieces you can put on the bottom like for feet, but it's 10 gig over Ethernet. Little expensive for a dumb switch, in my opinion, but $350 is stupid expensive for a dumb switch. I don't care if it's 10 gig or not. Next up is another sweet deal on TP-Link switch. This is a 24-port gigabit switch, but it's all power over Ethernet. All 24 ports are PoE plus, and it's got 2 SFP ports for uplinks. But if you're in the market for a primary, like a campus switch, right? I've got one of these, but it's not PoE. It is managed, so that it can be seen and controlled within my OMADA controller, meaning I can select VLAN for specific ports, which is super important to me. For 180 bucks, that's a deal. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. This is a really good deal. I literally just bought one of these. You can see right here, I purchased this on June 28th. It's a 5-port dumb switch, 2.5 gig. This is a fantastic edge switch if you're upgrading your network to a multi-gig setup. So I got one of these, and I actually paid 60 bucks for mine. I thought that was a good deal. Next up is another TP-Link, but this one's an access point. So this is the EAP650. It's Wi-Fi 6. It's got all the bells and whistles, and for 90 bucks, it's a really good deal if you're in the OMADA system and you're in the market for another access point. If you're in the market for a mini PC as a replacement for a primary workstation, this one doesn't look that bad. It's a GT1 by GEEKOM Mega AI Mini PC. It's 14th gen, Ultra 5, 14 cores, 18 threads, 32 gigs of DDR5 and a terabyte SSD with Windows 11 Pro. This is why I chose this one. It has dual 2.5 gig NICs plus Wi-Fi 7. Again, if you're looking to replace a machine, this goes for $750. Normally, it's 200 bucks off. Pretty good deal if you're in the market for it. Coming back down to the affordable section, there's a Beelink EQR6 mini PC. This would be good for traditional mini PC stuff. You know, maybe you don't need a very powerful workstation, or you want to set up a very small virtualization host, something that could fit in a mini server rack maybe. And this could be a good option for you. We've got a Ryzen 5 6600U, 24 gigs of low power DDR5, a general 500 gig PCIe 4 SSD, again, paired with one of those 1 or 2T drives that we looked at earlier. This could be a pretty powerful little virtualization machine, specifically because it's got dual NICs in it, 6 cores, 12 threads, should be plenty to play with. And at $265 markdown from $360, not bad. About 100 bucks off. Now, to go with your new Homelab gear, you're gonna need a UPS. You definitely want to put some type of surge protection as well as battery backups on critical systems. If you're in a rack environment, this is a 2U 1500 VA 8 outlet UPS. So it's rack mount. You can see here, it's gonna slide into your rack. It's not very deep, probably 24 inches deep or so, 20 volts, so it's not a 240 UPS. I bet you there's software that comes with it with CyberPower, or that you can download from their site, would let you monitor this and get alerts like power outage or battery life kind of things, so that you can be proactive with your battery backups. $300 marked down from $400. Again, if you're already in the market, this could be a pretty good deal for that. This actually is not a bad deal either, now that I look at it. This is interesting too, mainly because I've never heard of this brand, SKE. It's got a 4.3 rating, over 200 reviews, but it's a tiny little UPS, 625 VA, 360 watts. It could be good for a small single machine if you don't have a beefy workstation or you've got nodes. This would actually be good in a network rack, especially because it looks like you can mount it sideways. If you're gonna get one or the other, because they've got another one here that's 240 watts, get the 360 for 66 bucks. I've never heard of this brand. Let me know in the comments below if you've heard of SKE before, but this could be a good deal. All right, if you're in the market for a new CPU, a Ryzen 9 9950X for $434, marked down from $650 bucks. If you're in the market, this could be a pretty good deal for you. Moving on to the Intel Core Ultra 9 processor, 8P cores, 16 E cores, up to 5.7 gigahertz. That's pretty blazing fast for under $500. So that's over $100 off, because these are typically 600 bucks. Could be, again, if you have the infrastructure for it or you're already in the market, could be a good option for you. This is the i9-12900KF. I just bought this CPU, and if you watch the channel, you watch me build it on my live stream, maybe I'll leave a link to that up here somewhere. 16 cores, 8P, 8Es, 230 bucks, marked down from 270. Could be a good deal if you're in the market for it and you already have the infrastructure. Again, it's an LG A1700 socket CPU. If you're looking for building general workstations, this is a good deal. A 12th gen i3 12100F So this isn't gonna have any kind of onboard graphics. And it does support DDR4 or 5 in the 12th gen CPU for 65 bucks. That's not bad. That is not a bad deal. All right, and to round things out for your new PC build, you're gonna need a decent power supply. This is a Corsair RM1000X, fully modular. So including the motherboard's 24 pin or 20 plus 4 pin. It is PCIe Gen 5 supported, but for 160 bucks for a 1000-watt PSU, not too bad. Marked down from 210, save about 50 bucks. As you may know, again, if you watch the channel, I picked up one of these recently, Samsung 49-inch Odyssey OLED, freaking monstrous gaming monitor. I mean, stupid monstrously big. So this is a $1,600 monitor that is for sale for $900. I was super impressed with this because it's way more than just a display. This has smart TV features built in. All of the streaming services and stuff are all built into it. So if you want one primary display, this could be a really good option. This would be freaking awesome for a racing sim. I'll put it that way. And that's what I intend to use mine for. This is an all-flash nav. I have this. This is stupid fast. Terramaster F8, they have the F8 Plus. I just have the F8, which is more than enough for what I need. It's got 10 gig, a single 10 gig NIC on it. Enough room for 8 PCIe SSDs. I think they're Gen 4. Maybe I'll leave a link to that video up here as well. I have a video on this on my channel, but for $450, marked down from 600, 150 bucks off. Pretty good deal if you're in the market for it. The F8 SSD Plus is the same form factor. It has a better processor. So this has an i3 8-core processor, 16 gigs of DDR5. The one I have has just a quad-core processor, but all I'm using it for is currently, I don't want to get into it too much. It holds LLMs. I'll just say that. Up next is the Rackmate T1. I've done a couple videos with this, and this has shown up in a lot of different videos. In fact, I have it sitting right there, right there. Sweet little server rack. I think the T0 has its place. It's a smaller version where it's only 4U. This one's 8U, and it's deep enough that you can manage all your cables on the back side of it. This is the original T1, not the Blackout Edition. The Blackout Edition looks freaking sick. Anyway, so if you're looking to get into the 10-inch rack game, this could be a really good entry price at 120 bucks. Next up, I put these specifically on here for Mr. Max Voltage. If you don't know Max, go check him out. He's a fellow YouTuber. 12U 19-inch server rack. Adjustable server rack on casters. It's a no-brainer. If you're gonna get a server rack, make sure you get wheels on it. Up to a 40-inch deep rack. This will hold rack mount servers like PowerEdge. You can put your network equipment. You can put an Octo server full of RTX 4090s in here, like your AI servers. This is a good basement home lab rack. Unless you're crazy like me and have a big 42U rack that is almost full again. For 150 bucks, it's not a bad deal. Also, where's the other one? Is it? Okay, so the other one was 12U. This one is 22U, about half of a full-size rack. Great for a basement home lab rack and to store all your stuff. 225 bucks, marked down from 263. Could be a good price if you're looking for this already. All right, moving on with the Homelab life. This is the YouYeeToo X1 SBC. So think Raspberry Pi, but with more connectors, and it's x86 with an Intel processor, N5105. I actually have this, I don't know where I put it, but here's the box for it. Almost done with the video on this. I've got the X1, I've got the R1. Between the X1 and the R1, I would pick the X1, and for $128, this is a good deal. In fact, this one is the 256 storage. Mine is 8 gigs, 128 gigs of onboard storage. Yeah, this is actually a pretty good little spot. Or you could double the RAM for another 50 bucks. Just like a Raspberry Pi, the model you get is the model you get. Not a bad little board for $127. While we're at it, another mini PC that I found is the Minisforum UN1250. So this is an Intel 12th gen i5, 16 gigs of RAM, barely anything SSD. It's 500 gig SSD, but definitely replaceable, and the RAM is upgradable as well. It has a single 2.5 gig NIC. So again, not a bad deal if you're in the market They do have other models here, but for under $300, you're saving about 50 bucks here. It looks like this, the NAB9 Plus, 32 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte SSD, and an i9-12900HK. So that's similar to the CPU I have in my daily driver now. And this has the Oculink port on it. This might not be a bad deal for $450. Marked down from $580 if you're in the market for that. Ooh, and it's got dual 2.5 gig. Yeah, I'm gonna switch my answer there, Alex Trebek. This is my final answer. Now back down to budget land at $280, marked down from $350, so quite a bit of savings here. Ryzen 7 Mini PC, 16 gigs of RAM, 512 SSD on board, dual 2.5 gig NICs, and Wi-Fi 6E. This could be a pretty good virtualization host as well, specifically because of the dual multi-gig NICs, and a Ryzen 7 is gonna give you a lot of CPU cores. I've never had a GMKtec, but I hear they're good. I hear they're good boxes. And then finally rounding it up in the Homelab group is another GeeekPi special. So this is that 7.84 inch LCD. I have this. It's a full touch screen and it fits in the 10-inch rack. Great little rack mount LCD. I was Frankensteining one of these with 3D printing a shroud for it that's rack mountable, and it just didn't work out. It didn't look right. For what you get, it's a pretty good deal. The touchscreen is very responsive. It's really just 2 ports, well, 3 ports. So we've got a USB-C for power and touch, an HDMI for video, and a 3.5 inch headphone jack. Yeah, not sure why you'd want that, but you can get audio out from it. For 80 bucks, could be a good deal if you're in the market for something like that.